Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this pre-championship webinar for TAPS Dance 2022. My name is John Skees, and I am the Director of Media for TAPS. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes, but first I've got some housekeeping items to go over with you. And first on that list, this webinar is being recorded. That recording will be hosted on our YouTube page. That is youtube.com/tapsbiz. You can find recordings of all of our public webinars and training sessions there. You'll see a playlist for this competition year. You're going to receive a link to that playlist later today. It's going to be sent to the same email address that you used to register for this webinar. We put these on YouTube so that you can review them again if you need to, and that you can easily share them with anyone on your campus that might also need this information. So that is available for you. Second, if you have questions while we go through today's presentation, please use the questions feature on the GoToWebinar interface. We're going to try to answer those as we go through, but if we don't get to yours right away, there is a brief Q&A period at the end. But if we don't get to your question today, if we run out of time, or if it is too specific to answer appropriately in this venue, please send us an email after the webinar is over, info@taps.biz, or call us at the office. A couple of media-related announcements for those of you joining us, just so a few more people can connect. We've got a Twitter account associated with Dance, at Taps Dance. If you have an account for your program, please give us a follow. We like to see what our programs are up to, and to share that content on social media channels. That's also where we're gonna post information for your fans for this year's competition, including links to photo galleries and broadcasts during and after the event. With that, we'll go ahead and get started. I am joined today in the TAPS office by Brian Bunselmeyer, TAPS Executive Director, Rhonda Smith, TAPS Director of Fine Arts, and Will Dixon from the TAPS office staff is helping us out behind the keyboard today. We've done a lot of these, and I'm tired. And right now, I'm going to hand it over to Brian to get us started.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us here today. TAPS Dance 2022 will be coming your way January the 14th of 2023. So it's a long way away, and it's a short time away all at the same time. We're moving into our 9th year of the dance competition, and you know it's exciting to have been to them all and to see how we've progressed. I thank you to those that attended the first one and have made each of those competitions since then. So we're excited to have dance as one of our opportunities. We're also excited to have it be a Henderson Cup event. You're adding points towards the overall school point total, just like every other activity. So we're glad to have that opportunity for you. Rhonda Smith is our Fine Arts Director. She steps in for a full year. She got caught in the middle last year, so she's stepping up. And something about COVID and not being able to attend the dance competition last year, so she's looking forward to a return visit to Waco and be a part of that. We will be back at the base at Extraco. It's an excellent facility for what we're looking at doing. Glad to be able to say that. As we go forward into this 9th year, it's American Dance and Drill. They're coming back as the power behind TAPS Dance, so we're glad to use their expertise. Good to have an established opportunity here to get the judges to provide that the criticisms of what needs to be changed, but also the support and the applause for what you've done right. So American Dance and Drill Team, they're the power behind TAPS Dance. They're the judges that are going to come in and go to the specifics of what's going on the floor, both individual, small group, and large group routines. So again, we look forward to seeing everybody January the 14th, 2023 in Waco at the base at Extraco. And Rhonda's going to jump in here, give a little greeting, and then talk about some of the governance that will apply to TAPS Dance.
Thank you, Brian. Again, I want to add to what you said about American Dance and Drill Team. We are so excited to partner with them again. Brittany and her team do an excellent job of helping to make sure everything runs smoothly, and it makes this championship an incredible experience for all of our students. Going into the nitty-gritty and getting into the governance, if you go to our website, I'm going to have Will jump over to our website, and on the home page, top left, says bylaws. I'm not going to have him click on that right this very second. It is an incredibly large document, but once you get there and it loads, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, literally the last section, section 261, is the Constitution for dance-specific rules that you need to know. If you need general rules for fine arts, you've got sections 198 through 202, but anything dance related is in section 261. I've notated 261.1 where it says organization. That's where your divisions are listed. We'll go over those a little bit later in this webinar in a little bit more in depth. But that's where you can find questions. If you don't find what you're looking for, always email us at info@taps.biz or call the office, and I'll be more than happy to help walk you through any questions you might have. Moving on to student eligibility, those that are going to be eligible to participate in this competition, we need to know that they are not 19 prior to September 1st, that they are a full-time day student. They are actually sitting in class 4 periods a day at your school, which makes them that full-time student. They may not have been in 9th grade more than 4 years ago, because we only have 4 years of eligibility in TAPS. And it's going to be high school students that are in good standing. Now, moving into rank 1. This is something that all of us are becoming very familiar with, and things that you need to take care of before you get all registered and everything for the competitions. As a director or a fine arts director, you need to make sure all of your information is updated and correct in rank 1. Make sure your emails are correct. Make sure your program directors, assistant program directors, anybody that's going to be in rank 1, that their information is up to date. This is where Kelly, and I will stop right here and say, any questions that you have about rank 1 and you get stopped or whatever, call the office and talk to Kelly Bay. She is our rank 1 guru, but she will be pulling all of the emails for any communications that come from the office, and so this is where she gets those. The other thing we need you to be is compliant, and by doing that, you will have completed your acknowledgement of rules, and you will be scope certified. Both of those are found on the home page of your rank 1 account. To the far left bottom, it will talk about those. Scope certified, when you click on it, looks like it has check boxes, and it looks like you can just click the check box and you'll be done. However, it does not take you to the presentation you need to watch. If you actually click on the words fine arts, then that will open up the presentation for you to watch. So we need to make sure that you're in there and you are good to go. But not only you, all of your students need to be in rank 1, have their student profiles completed, also sign their acknowledgement of rules, have a medical history on file, and for dance, they must have a physical on file, and Brian's going to talk to us about that in just a second.
Just as a reminder, the question comes up every year. The Executive Board, on the advice of the Fine Art Executive Committee and the Athletic Executive Committee, determined that fall band, the drumline, cheer and dance as well, all needed to have the same restrictions as far as having a medical history and a physical on file. That's to protect not only the kids but also the staff and school as we go forward. So it does need to be there. It can be the physical and medical history that you have on file at your school. If you got questions about that, or if you need help walking through that, we're here to help. info@taps.biz. That's with a Z. Appreciate you again for being here to talk about this. Rhonda, talking about that communication, let's jump to the website or whatever you have up next, and let's walk them on through.
Okay, one last thing in rank 1. Make sure you have your rosters created. We will be asking for those periodically. Right now, you can just have them on there, who's going to be participating. As it gets closer to the competition time, we will be sending out emails asking for your updated roster, whether they're the captain, co-captain, and also giving you instructions on how to upload a team picture. So this is why having all of your rank 1 information up to date is very important, because you will be receiving all of those communications. And moving into communications, Will, if you would go to the website for us. If you go to our website and at the top go to Fine Arts, you will see every fine art that TAPS offers, and over to the left you'll see dance, and at the top of that page you'll have championship information 2023, because it is actually in January of 2023, but when you click on it, it has the dates, has the location, maps to the facility. We will be putting schedules up after just a little bit. We have to wait till all of the participation forms come in on September 1st. That way we know which schools are actually going to participate this year. So we will be waiting for that, and then we will get those schedules posted on the website.
For the most part, the rank 1 dance, as far as getting your kids in and your roster in, is for those that are going to compete in the TAPS competition. If you are a dance director or fine art director and you're competing on the sidelines or in other competitions, we'd love to have you in rank 1 so you can continue to receive information about TAPS. But as far as student rosters, if you're in interscholastic competition hosted at other schools or for TAPS, that's when we need to have your roster in there.
Thank you, Brian. Also, wanted to point out on the dance page, every email that goes out from the office pertaining to dance will actually show up on the right side of the screen. You'll see now the last one you got was the fine art preseason webinar information. So anytime you think you need to catch up, or maybe you've missed something, if you go to this page and check there, you'll find all of the communication that has come out from the office. Next thing, some important dates that we need to cover. The first one is September 1st. We put participation forms on there. Those are actually what your entire school is going to fill out and turn into TAPS, the activities in which your school is going to participate. So not just dance. I don't need you just to tell me for dance, but that's your entire school. Now, it is important if you need to talk to your athletic director. He is the one that's probably turning this in. Make sure he has dance included on your participation form when they send it in. December 16th, there is an entry deadline. Anytime you need to find a deadline or anything that's going on, if you go to our TAPS website and go to the calendar, anything that's in red is a deadline. Anything that's in bright yellow is a championship event. So you'll find the entry deadline on December 16th, but our dance championships are January 14th. And as Brian already said, we're going to be back at that beautiful base at the Extraco Center in Waco. And it's going to be a really exciting day, and I'm praying I actually get to be there this year. As Brian said, I was out with COVID last year, so I'm looking forward to being back with all of you guys.
A couple of things on the competition schedule. If you were there last year, we'll build in a little bit longer lunch break, so the day may extend a little longer. But as we go forward, especially for those that you have solos and smalls, obviously we want you to finish your large ensemble competition first, be able to go through the awards prior to going to solos and smalls. And I think, the biggest attribute we have is that we had an awful lot of folks that wanted to do the solo and small competition. So that's been a good add to what we're doing, and it kind of leads us into what the competition day will look like, Rhonda.
Thank you. Yeah, the competition day is going to consist of you'll be in a warm-up. You'll check in, go to a warm-up room when it's your time, and then you will have your first performance of whichever genre you have chosen, and we'll talk about those in a second. And that will be your round 1 dance. That's going to be 50% of your overall score. Then, after, like Brian said, we'll put in a longer break, and then you will perform a second routine of whichever genre you have chosen for that one, and that's going to be 50% of your overall routine. A couple of things, make the times for your routines are in the bylaws, but a routine is a minute 30 to 2:30, so just make sure that you're aware of time limits, when timing starts at, first movement, first note, and it ends when you either freeze or the last person's off the mat if it's an exit. Just make sure you look at those things. Also know that you are providing the music. Also, someone from your school will be the one that is going down and plugging in what if it's on your iPod, if it's on a iPad, however you have your music, it will be you that starts and stops the music. They do provide, I believe, the connections that will help you out. During the day judging, you're going to have 3 performing judges and a deduction judge, and so the scoring is going to be consistent with TAPS rules and also with the NFHS Spirit rules. So if you look at those are all in the bylaws and covered in the bylaws. The dance genres that you have to choose from, you have jazz, kick, palm, lyrical, and novelty. So you will be choosing those as your varsity team. And if you'll see, I put performance, or see the performance rubrics on the dance page. I'm going to have Will just jump over to the dance page for just a second for me. If you scroll down to the bottom, you have rubrics. You have the performance rubrics, which are the ones that talk about would you click that for me, please? You will see all 5, and you can go in, and there's your rubrics for whichever genre you are choosing to dance. Go back one, and you'll see another button that says individual or solo small ensemble information. When you click on that, thank you. you will see everything. It describes what a solo consists of, small ensembles, and then it even goes into the individual entries, which are your high kicks, your leaps, and your turns. And when you go into the individual skills, it shows what you are going to perform. Will you click on the? Yep, thank you. There you go. It tells you exactly what you're going to do. Round 1, what the leaps consist of, and round 1 on the turn, what it consists of. And then it also shows you what each judge is looking for as you go through there. So make yourself familiar with these rubrics so that as you go through and you're doing your performance, that you are staying within the guidelines.
The committee over the years has looked at the genres. They've settled in on where we are with the jazz and the kick and the palm, etc. We've looked at other opportunities, but at this point, these will be the classification opportunities that we have for the 2023 Dance Championships. We can always look at that, and we will look at that moving into next June's TAPSCon 23. Another thing that comes up as we look at the rubrics, if you have any questions at all, I encourage you to take as you're developing your routine, as you're looking at your solos, as you're looking at your smalls. If you've got any questions, reach out to us at info@taps.biz. We'll get you connected with American Dance and Drill. They can answer very specific questions and also answer those questions specifically, hey, if I do this, what will the judge think? Those kind of things I think are better asked for folks that have been the judge. It's definitely not me, but as we look forward, we want to facilitate getting you with the folks that know. We want you to be prepared. So it's important, especially on your solos and smalls. I had the opportunity to be in that room all last year. We had some excellent opportunities, and our young folks did a great job. Just want to make sure that as you go through that process, you know what's expected and they know what's expected, and we move forward. Rhonda, talk a little bit about the divisions, and then we'll follow back up on that.
Thank you. Earlier we mentioned divisions, and if you are not totally sure which division you fall into, these are found in the bylaws, section 261, but we have divided them by large school and small school, large squad, small squad. Now, we still do not have all of the information back from all the participating schools, so as we get closer to time, we will be able to see how this falls and how we divide those up. But if you're not sure where you fall, this is how we have them divided at this time.
If you go back on the TAPS website, we'll stay here. Don't go back to the website. But if you go to the website, you'll look at last year's results. You're going to see that we varied and strayed a little bit from what we said in the bylaws because that was what was best for the competition. So the best way to say it is, this is the general rule that you're seeing on this presentation. And when you go into the TAPS bylaws, that's our general rule of thumb. However, if one classification or one division is stacked, we will definitely look to split it out so that it's more equitable across the board. So as you see a lot of times, we reserve the right to change our mind. We won't make it any harder on you, but if there is a division where we can split people out, we would absolutely do that as opposed to what's written up there.
Thank you, Brian. All right, and then last on here, we have awards, which always turns into a really great time as you've gone through the day and you've done your performances. You've done the top 4 ranked teams in each division will receive plaques. Every team will receive a rating, whether it's superior, excellent, good, fair, and that's for each varsity team, each solo, and small ensemble. And those that receive a superior rating will actually receive a plaque indicating that they have done exceptionally well. There are individual awards, first team, second team, and honorable mention. All state, those will be nominated by you, the coaches, and given to us as you register and as you come in. You will be the ones that will nominate for that. And then we also have the individual skills for the leaps, turns, and kicks. There's a kick company, a turn company. The top 5 receive certificates, and the winner also receives a medal. So these are a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun time to go through. But again, as we go through this, there are still some COVID concerns, and Brian is going to cover those for us.
Just COVID is still out there. We're not going to require you to wear a mask. We are going to ask that you social distance where possible as a team. However, we also understand it's a crowded building, so do the best you can. If your school is going to require you to wear a mask, you're certainly free to do that. One thing that comes up is to make sure that you know your school's rules. We did have a couple of schools last year that were unable to attend based on their rules for COVID. So we are looking forward to hopefully being out of the woods and the weeds by then, but we do need to make sure. The other thing, Children's Health Andrews Institute, they do have a dance program for rehabilitation, but one of the things they provide is Dr. Smarava or another doctor physician on site, and we will also have athletic trainer there as well. So we're there to take care of the dancers both on and off the floor. We hope we don't need them, but if we do need them, we have excellent care available. One thing about the companies, I will tell you that it's fun seeing. It's been very enlightening to see what our young folks can do in the large ensemble, the small, and the individual. But I think the leaps, the jumps, the kicks, those opportunities where you get to see them out of what they do with a group, it shows a lot of growth. It shows a lot of opportunity. Highly encourage your dancers, if they want to take part in that, to be part of that. And I think it gets harder and harder each round. I like the idea that it's a knockout round. You can all go out there at the first time, but if this is something you love, standing out there and being a part of it is great as well. So this is the beginning webinar. This is just a teaser of, hey, we've got TAPS Dance 2023 coming on January the 14th. We'll get more information out. We'll get Brittany and some of the American Dance folks to give us a little more information as we get closer. Any questions that you have, please bounce them back to info at taps.biz. Give us a call at 254-947-9268. Will's going to work hard over the next couple of weeks to cut some of the individual and small group performances into edible bites that we can get up on the website. Unfortunately, video takes an awful lot of bandwidth to make it happen, but we'll get some of that up there and also show you some of the individual skills, the leaps, jumps, and kicks. So we're excited. We're looking forward to coming back in January, being a part of the TAPS Dance world. Rhonda, any closing thoughts as we get ready to kick on out of here and get ready for the rest of the year?
Just that we are so excited about the upcoming season, and like we've said several times, if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to contact me, and then, like you said, we will get you with Brittany and American Dance if they have. They can get you the information that you need. So info at taps.biz, and at that, thank you for joining us today, and we'll turn it back to John.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Will. And thank you, folks, for being here today. Once again, this recording will be made available on our YouTube channel later this afternoon. You're going to receive an email with a link to that playlist, and you can check back and see when it is available. You can share this with anybody on your campus who needs this information or review it as you deem necessary. A couple other media reminders just before we close. We are going to have photographers on site for this year's championship like we did last year and the year before. We will have photographers in the small group sessions and the large group. And we're also going to be looking to do some interviews for our for upcoming podcast episodes. So if you're interested in that, send us an email, info at taps.biz. With that, folks, you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for being here.